All right, so here in our Canvas site, we have two files here. One is a PDF file. This is an article written by Hadley Wickham about tidy data. I would that you read the article, read the PDF file, because it tells you a lot about how to do tidy data, how to clean your data. And there are other sources, there are other references that we can use, which you can get from the internet, and you'll find that in the in our in the file that I shared with you. So let's go back to our file. Okay, so we have here two R markdowns. Do you see the other R markdowns, guys? The NYC flights. This is just a short R file, but we're going to focus on this, the tidy data. Okay, so there are some packages here. Okay, the new ones, I think the new ones here are Plotly. I'm going to show you. Plotly will be one of the requirements, one of the quiz. I'm going to show you an example of how to use this. But most of this, I think we have already installed. So I think it's only Plotly that you need to install. So having done that, guys, let's now dive into our topic today, which is all about tidying data. Now, last time we were able to look at this importing data into R. There are several ways to do this. You can import an Excel file, a CSV file, a SAS file, an SPSS file, a Stata file into R. So R is very powerful in the sense that you can use different types of data and then import it and then do data analysis. Okay, so we did this last time. Okay, we learned how to use the read CSV file last time. Okay, so I'll skip that. And then we also installed these packages 538 and 538 data. And we in fact downloaded a data coming from that. Okay, but what we're going to discuss now is how to tidy your data. Okay, now I have listed here some references. Okay, so let's kindly, for example, open the first one. Control C. Kindly copy the link, guys, and okay. So this is an article by Garrett Grolemund. Okay, and this discusses what tidy data means. Okay, this one we're going to use as an example now. Now, this is what a tidy data looks like. By the way, can you see the screen? Okay, thank you, Anton. All right, so this is what a tidy data looks like, guys. Okay, sabi dito, each variable in the data set is placed in its own column. So this is a variable, these are variables, and then each observation is placed in its row. So for example, we're interviewing a person, tapos kung saan nanggaling, anong country niya, anong year, anong case, anong population, kunyari country pala. Each observation is placed in each row, and then each of this item here, each value is placed in its own cell. So these are your cells, okay? And these cells contain the values. The values identified by each variable, okay? And by each identity, by each observation. Okay, so that's what a tidy data looks like. All right, so I leave that to you guys for you to read more on. Okay, can you see the R? Can you see the R file, guys? Nakikita nyo ba yung R file?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now there's another reference here, guys. So let's also open this. This one is a good reference also, Control C. And it's here already, okay? So this is an article about keeping your uh, data tidy. Now, as we go along, guys, you'll learn why it's very important, especially if you're using R, to make sure that the data that you're using is tidy, okay? So this one was written by Klaus Wilke, and he discusses the article written by Hadley Wickham, which I shared with you in the PDF file, okay? Yung, let me just see kung Hadley Wickham, tidy data. It's this one. So just to show you what that PDF file is all about, it came from the net, guys. Oops, this is not the exact one. Okay, not this one, guys. But if you open the file that I shared with you sa Canvas natin, guys, let me just open that para mabilis. So hindi tayo guys hindi tayo kulang ng hindi tayo kulang ng materials, ng references for tidy data. In fact, tayo magsasawa, no? Okay, this is the article I was referring to you. I was talking about. This is the PDF file that I shared. Okay, I encourage you to read this, guys. So it's about defining what tidy data is, okay, and what messy or the opposite of tidy data, what messy data is. So it's always important to convert your messy data into a tidy data. For the main reason is that if you're going to do some data analysis, it's important. It's a requirement that your data should be in tidy form so that you can do data analysis in it. If it's in messy data, you can convert it to become a tidy data. So this is the article that I mentioned to you. You can 2014. I encourage you to read this. Okay, but most of that we're going to discuss now. Okay. So going back to this discussion by Klaus Wilk. Okay, so as I said, guys, dapat ang tidy data dapat each variable should form a column. Okay, each observation should form a row, and then each type of observational unit should form a table. May part 2 pa rin to, guys, no? Ito. No, not this one, but there's a part 2 to this one. May continuation sa kanya. Okay, which is this one. Continuation lang ni Wilk. Okay, this is a good reference, guys, for you to understand more what a tidy data is. Okay, so these are just references. I'd like to encourage you to read those. Okay, so there are other references here and marami pang iba, no? Marami pang iba, guys, ha? Mandali. Okay, so may mga definition pa ako dito, guys, no? I have definitions here. So I leave this to you guys. Quickly, we'll just go through this. Ito yung sinasabi ko siya na article ni Wickham in 2014. Okay, so this is how the data should be arranged. Okay, as I mentioned a while ago, tidy data is a standard way of mapping the meaning of a data set to its structure. In order for a data to be tidy, each variable should form a column, observation should form a row, and each type of observational unit forms a table. And each value is placed in its own cell. So, ito yung kanina pinakita ko. This is site for illustration. Okay. On the other hand, guys, pag messy data, opposite yun ng tidy data. So ano yung common examples ng messy data? Column headers are values. Okay, pag nakakita ka na ang column header, value siya, then that's an example of a messy data. Tingnan nyo to, guys, no? Okay, can you see this? Can you see the screen, guys? Nung balik ako dun sa ano.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tingnan nyo to. Now this is a measure of temperature. Now, CTA, CTB, and CTC, actually value to no? Kung tutusin mo, pwede sana ang variable natin dito CT. Tapos ang mga values na CTA, CTB, CTC. So this is an example of a messy data. Tapos yung mga values ng temperature, it's not in one column. Itong mga 14, 15, 12, 18, 21, they are spread across several columns. So this is an example of a messy data. Okay, messy data to. Parang ito din. Kasi dapat, di ba, pag tidy data, dapat yung one variable na yon nasa isang column yan. Okay? Tapos hindi na siya mauulit sa ibang columns. Ito yung temperature na values. Yan. It's spread across all columns. So which makes this not a tidy data. Ganun din dito, guys, no? Can you see week? Si week is not arranged in column form. It's arranged in row form. No? Kaya nangyayari dito, yung values ng ng week, it's spread out across different columns. Hindi dapat ganun. Ang tidy data, ito yung tidy data, guys. So you see the variable week 1, this is the variable, and the values are in one column. Yung CT variable din siya, CTA, CTB, CTC, etc. And the temperature is in this form. That's how a tidy data looks like, no? So as you are exposed to more data, makikita natin, guys, kung ano yung tidy data, ano yung hindi tidy data. Okay? Now the good news is in R, pag na-import na natin yung data natin, even if it's a messy data, we can always convert it into a tidy data. Tapos, pag tidy na yung data natin, doon na natin magagamit yung mga packages. Magagamit na natin si ggplot2, magagamit na natin si dplyr, magagamit na natin yung ibang packages. So that's the importance, guys, of converting your data from a messy data into a tidy data. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so I have here, inano ko na, guys, ninotes ko na para for your reference na. This is a collection from many other sources. So medyo pinagsama-sama ko iba doon, sinamarize ko para mas kuha kagad natin kasi medyo kulang na tayo ng time. With a standardized framework, we spend less time on data cleaning and wrangling and more time on focus on answering the problem at hand. So kunyari meron tayong mga data analysis na kailangan gawin. Kung messy yung data natin, ang daming pang kailangan gawin bago natin makukuha yung gusto nating insights na makuha from our data. Gusto nating makuhang data analysis. So pag tidy na yung data natin, naka-standardize na siya, madali na magamit ni R. It's also a good practice to have your data in this format, which makes it reproducible. Ibig sabihin nun, yung madaling, pag kunyari sinend ko yung RMD file ko sa inyo, makukuha nyo rin kaagad, no? Okay. So, yung package na ginagamit, guys, sa tidying data is tidyverse. Now, si tidyverse, guys, it's a package of many packages. Pakiran nga to. Pakiran nga guys yung tidyverse. Run natin tong code na to. Ay, naran ko na, no? Kayo guys, pakiran, ano makikita nyo? Kasi naran ko na kanina to eh. What do you see guys? Sandali ah. Sorry may dumating lang na ano. Okay, what are the other packages that you can find with tidyverse guys? Paki-chat na lang o kung pwede paki-sagot, no? What are the packages that come with tidyverse? Yan, correct, no? dplyr, tidyr, tball, andyan din si si ggplot guys. Okay? So family of packages yan. So sa isang package, andun na yung iba't ibang packages. So if you need for example yung dplyr, yung ggplot, yung tball, pwedeng ang i-ano nyo lang, ang i-load nyo lang yung tidyverse. Tapos kasama na yon, no? Kasama na yung mga ibang packages na yon. So before, we learned yung dplyr guys, by way of review, we learned how to filter, mutate, etc. Ngayon, ang gagawin natin is to learn tidy data, no? Tidy data. Okay. Now, there is, okay, ito, naulit lang pala, guys. Oh. Ito din yung kay Hadley Wickham. Sorry, naulit. Alright. So, kailangan natin, guys, naulit din to. Ba't naulit ko yung ano? Okay, so let me just remove this kasi na-set up na natin pala itong ano. Okay. Alright, so let's start with this, guys. Yung sa tidyr, guys, may mga tables na kasama dyan. Okay? From the tidyr package, you have these examples of tables. I-run nga natin siya isa-isa. Okay. So, table 1. Okay. So, ito yung table 1, guys. No? It's a table, sabi, 6x4. And yung first column natin, country, then year, then cases, then population. I'm not sure if the cases here are cases of a certain illness, nagkasakit yata or something. Okay, question. Ano ba siya, guys? Is this tidy data? Paki-chat na lang kung yes or no. Tidy data ba siya? Tidy data ba siya, guys? Sorry. Not feeling well today. Yes, thank you, David. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Okay, correct. Tidy data siya, guys, no? Kasi, sabi natin, all the columns are variables. Tapos, each row is an observation, no? This is an observation of Afghanistan in 1999, ang cases na 745, population 199, etc. No? Another observation of Afghanistan yung year 2000, etc. So, tidy data to, guys. And this is the target that we want. We want our data frame to be in that way. Okay, now let's take a look at table 2. Si table 2 ba? Tingnan natin. Run natin to. Okay. Si table 2 ba, tidy data? Okay. Sabihin ko na guys, hindi tidy data to kasi actually ang variable dito itong cases at saka population. So pinagsama niya, no? Pinagsama niya. Although technically sasabihin ng iba, gusto ko may variable na type, no? Na ang laman ng cases at saka population. Okay, in that sense guys, kung ganun yung gusto, kung ganun yung talagang gustong gawin, then this can be considered as a tidy data. If guys, yung cases at saka population, these are values or of the variable type, no? So in that case, pwede din 'yon. But technically kasi kung ang cases at saka population natin, sila yung mga variables, guys, then in that regard, hindi tidy data to, no? Kasi yung ano natin, yung variable natin, pinagsama natin sa isang column. Okay? So let's go to table 3. Table 3. Alright. Si table 3 guys, okay, hindi siya tidy data kasi you have two numbers here, no? Pinagsama just using a slash, no? 745, ito yung cases, ito yung population, pinagsama niya. It's not even a value, no? Kasi parehong character to. Okay, character siya. So, parang minerge niya, kinumbine niya yung dalawang values ng cases at saka population sa isa. So, this is not a tidy data. No? Dalawang values actually to na pinagsama niya. Okay, and then table 4A and table 4B, pagsama na natin i-run to. Okay, so this is not a tidy data. No? 1999-2000, 1999-2000, ano to? Value to, guys. Diba? 1999, year 2000 is the value of a year. Ang ginawa niyang yung value, ginawa niyang column name. No? Okay, so this is not a tidy data. Okay, so we're going to use this one. Okay, I think, sorry guys, medyo naulit yata yung iba dito. No? Anyway, let's keep this. Sinabi na naman natin kanina to. Okay, so ina-explain ko lang dito guys na si table 1 tidy, no? Diniscuss natin kanina 'yon. And then ito yung mga advantages guys. Consistent yung data structure natin. Pag tidy lahat guys, consistency. May consistency tayo, may uniformity, no? Tapos sabi natin it's specific advantage to placing variables in columns because it allows R's vectorized nature. Remember guys, si R works with vectors, no? To shine. Ano natin na-optimize natin yung mga built-in functions ni R at saka yung mga packages. Okay? dplyr, ggplot, and all other packages in the tidyverse are designed to work with tidy data. So hindi tayo pwede makapag-ggplot o dplyr kung hindi naka-tidy yung data natin. Okay, for example, di ba si table 1, ano siya? Si table 1, tidy data siya, di ba? Now, we can work with table 1 to create a to mutate, no? So pag mutate, di ba nagcreate tayo ng panibagong object, no? So mag-mutate tayo, we're creating rate, and rate is equal to cases over population. So this is parang per capita, no? So i-run nga natin to guys. So we're computing your rate per 10,000. Yan, tingnan nyo guys. Di ba pag mutate guys, ang nangyayari, nadadagdagan yung ano natin, yung column, di ba? Ito yung table 1 natin, country, year, cases, population, and then nasama yung rate via the mutation. And we can do this guys kasi tidy yung data natin. Okay, otherwise, naalala nyo yung mga NYC flights natin na yung flights na data natin, that's a tidy data. Kaya nga tayo nakapag-dplyr doon kasi tidy yung data natin. Kung hindi tidy yung data natin guys, hindi tayo makakapag-dplyr, hindi tayo makakapag-mutate. hindi tayo makakapag-summary. Ito, naalala niyo yung count na to? Sige, tingnan natin to, run natin to. Table 1, bilangin daw yung year at saka yung cases, no? Okay. Run natin to. So this generates, okay? So another a table. Hindi lang natin linagyan ng pangalan, but we could have done that. Na binilang niya yung year, 1999 at saka 2000, kay N, kay count, no? Yung cases niya. Kung ilan yung cases noong 1999 at saka nung 2000. Yan. And also, mag-ggplot na tayo, no? No need for this kasi na-require na natin yan, guys, no? No need for ggplot2 kasi kasama na yan dun sa tidyverse. Tapos na-require na rin natin sa taas yan. We can use ggplot2 now. Okay, to plot, guys, yung mga cases 1999 hanggang and 2000, no? Yung mga countries na involved, Afghanistan, Brazil, and China. Okay? Using table 1. Pwede natin magamit si ggplot2, guys, kay table 1 kasi ano siya, kasi tidy data. For the rest, guys, hindi pa pwede. Kailangan i-convert muna natin siya into data, tidy data. Okay, so here are just some questions, guys, na ano na-answer na natin to, no? Okay, describe the tables. Okay, ito, guys, kunyari, i-compute natin yung rate for table 2, table 4A, and table 4B. Hindi guys, hindi immediate, no? Kailangan mag-extract pa tayo, kailangan may steps pa na gagawin. Okay, so it's not direct pag hindi tidy yung data. So I leave this to you guys to explore. So mas maganda talaga bago tayo mag-data crunching or data analysis operations, kailangan tidy muna yung data natin. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to do data analysis. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to learn the code functions that come with tidyr. Okay? Una yung pivoting. Ginagamit natin yung pivoting, guys, kasi hindi tidy yung data natin and we would want to convert it into a tidy data. Okay. So, the principles of tidy data seems to be obvious, kaso kadalasan makaka-encounter tayo pag nag-download tayo, nag-import tayo ng data, makakapag-import tayo ng data that's not tidy. So, kailangan i-convert natin yun, no? Using tidyr, no? Coming from the tidyverse package. Data is often organized to facilitate some other than analysis. Karamihan, yung mga data na may encounter natin, hindi siya constructed or structured in such a way na ready na siya for data analysis. Yung pinakita ko kanina na yung mga cities as columns, it has its own purpose, no? Pero for data manipulation, for data analysis using R, hindi natin pwede magamit yon. Okay, so it means for real analysis, we need to do some tidying first. Of course, kailangan muna natin malaman ano ba yung mga variables at saka ano yung mga observations. Sometimes madali ito, pero sometimes mahirap to, no? Okay, so let's take a look at an example. Okay. So typically, a data set will only suffer from one of these problems. Ano yung problem na yon? Ito yung mga problems, guys, na mai-encounter natin. Number one variable might be spread across multiple columns. Okay, ano yung example nito? Ito, di ba? Ito. Itong variable na to, guys, this is the variable temperature. And nakaspread siya across all other columns. Okay? So, pag ganyan, guys, madali yan. We're going to make use of tidyr in order to convert yung messy data into a tidy data. Okay, so sa tidyr, dalawang pwede natin magawa. Yung pivot longer at saka pivot wider. as the name suggests, ang mangyayari pag pivot longer, mahahaba yung mga rows, no? Pag pivot wider naman, opposite siya ng pivot longer. Okay, so ito yung two of the most important functions in TidyR. Pivot longer and pivot wider. Okay. So, balikan natin si table 4A. Tingnan natin si table 4A, ha? Okay, tingnan nyo guys to. So si table 4A, yung year, ginawa niyang parang column name 1999 at saka 2000. Okay, anong objective natin? Gusto natin na dapat yung 1999 na yan at saka 2000 dapat nasa nasa as one yan, as one variable year, no? Correct guys? So dapat si 1999 naka-reflect yan as a year, si 2000 din as a year. Okay? So ang gagawin natin diyan guys, kasi yung mga values ng these are cases, no? Cases to. So yung mga cases natin, sandali, pakita ko lang kasi ang kambal nito si table 4B. Si table 4B, sabay natin pareho. Okay, si table 4A, ang nakalagay dyan, cases, si table 4B yung population. So, anong nangyari dito? Hindi tayo dito. Yung tidy data natin, yung table 1, di ba? Table 1. Run ulit natin. Run natin lahat para kita natin yung comparison niya. Okay. So, si table 1, andito yung year, andito yung cases, no? Ang ginawa dito, in-split siya. Yung isang table, 1999 yung header, 2000, tapos yung cases to, si table 4B naman, population. So, well, it has its own use, no? Siguro ginamit to to present a report. Kunyari, ang population lang tinitingnan dito cases. Okay, so depende kasi sa gumagawa ng table yan. Pero, again, this is not tidy. Okay? Wala bang gamit to? Of course, meron. Yung messy data, depende yan sa gumagamit. Siguro, pag nag-represent ng report, yun ang siguro, at that moment, yun ang kailangan. Pero, again, guys, hindi siya tidy, hindi siya pwedeng gamitin si R. So, if you're going to do data analysis using R, kailangan ma-convert natin to, no? So, gusto natin ito guys, ma-convert natin into this. Yung cases na to, no? So si year dapat isang column yan, tapos tawagin natin cases itong mga numbers na to. So ang kailangan natin dito guys is pivot longer. Bakit? Dadagdagan natin yung mga rows. Kaya longer guys, kasi mas mahaba yung rows. Tingnan nyo to guys, 6 na rows to, di ba? Hanggang dito. Afghanistan 199,745. 6 na rows, ito 3 lang. That's why what we're going to do is pivot longer, pati dito, i-convert din natin into pivot longer. Pause muna ako guys. Okay lang ba so far? Paki-yes na lang kung so far okay tayo. Okay. Alright. Thank you. Others? Alright. Sige. Salamat ha. Okay. So how do we do that? Okay, sabi natin, take note that ang gagawin natin, idadagdag natin yung mga rows dun sa gagawa tayo ng panibagong variable na ang tawag year, ilalagay natin si 1999 at saka si 2000. So sabi dito, the set of columns whose names are values are not variables. Hindi yan tidy. Yung 1999 and 2000, values yan values ng year yan. So the name of the variable to move the column names to is year, tapos cases, no? Tapos gagamitin natin si pivot longer. So this is how it looks. Okay. Alright? So, okay na to. Alam na natin table 4A. Let's create an object, a table, for table 4A called tidy, no? So ang tawag natin table 4A underscore tidy. So gagamitin natin si dplyr, table 4A, okay? and then pivot longer. Yan, guys, yun na ito. Pivot longer, no? Tapos, si 1999, take note guys, may backtick yan, no? Okay, kasi wala naman tayong variable na 1999, parang value yan eh, no? So, kailangan lagyan natin yung backtick. And then, ito, names 2, no? Names 2, lalagay natin is equal to year, and values 2 is equal to cases. So, magka-create ngayon si R ng panibagong column called year at saka cases, okay, na ilalagay niya yung 1999 at saka 2000 dun sa year. Tapos yung corresponding values na ilalagay niyo dun sa cases. Okay, so let's run this. Ito lang to. Okay, so lagyan ko pala ng open and close parenthesis para mapakita kagad yung values. Alright, what happened guys? Anong nangyari? Kinonvert niya, no? Nag-create siya ng panibagong variable called year, tapos ando dun yung 1999 at 2000 and their corresponding cases. Okay, di ba dun sa case kanina, di ba? Yung 1999, tapos under that yung 745. Tapos yung column na 2000, under that yung 266. Okay, clear to guys? Clear? Okay, yes or no lang?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is this a tidy data now? Tidy data ba si table 48?
Yes, sir.
ID na siya, no? Correct. Thank you. Thank you sa mga nag-chat. Okay. Saan yan? Check ko muna, baka may question. Yes, thank you. Okay, good. So tidy na to guys, no? Tidy na siya. Okay, how about ito naman si so may konting explanation dito guys, basahin niyo na lang ha. Si table 4B naman, ganun din, di ba? Hindi tidy dito. Pareho siya ng table 4A, kaso si 4B kasi population siya. Control Enter, di ba? Ito, population yung laman niya. So ang gagawin din natin, convert natin siya into a tidy table. Yan. So we'll create table 4B tidy. Galing yan kay table 4B and then pivot longer, no? Pivot longer. By the way, before I go there guys, yung isa kanina, pwede rin ganito yung code, names 2, values 2, and then C. Pwede rin gamitin natin yung quotes. Yan. Pwede rin yan. Pwede rin nasa dulo siya. Okay? Pwede rin nasa dulo siya. Nauna yung names 2, values 2, tapos kung ano. No? Kung ano yung ilalagay natin dun sa year. Alright? So, in this case now, si table 4B, let's run this. Control Enter. Yan, tingnan nyo. No? So, naging ano na siya? Naging tidy data na siya. Okay, take note guys, pag data frame at saka table, not necessarily tidy yan ha. So, we will still need to convert kung may table ka na hindi tidy. Okay, any questions here so far? Okay. Kung wala, let me proceed. Alright. So meron na tayong table 4B na tidy. Meron na tayong table 4A na tidy, no? Now we can now combine them para pareho na siya dun sa table 1. Kasi remember si table 1, okay, sandali. Hindi ko pala na ano si table 1. Let me just run para ma-compare lang natin. Okay, table 1. Alright, naalala nyo guys yung left join natin. Ano ginagawa ng left join if you recall guys? Kukunin yung common sa dalawa, Diba? Pag left join, ang basis natin si yung nasa left, no? Si 4A, pero isasama din si 4B. So we can now construct a table. This is now a combination of yung sa dplyr natin na joins. Okay, so remember si table 1, ganito siya eh. Country, year, cases, population. Si table 4A tidy, 4A tidy, di ba ganito siya, no? Andito yung countries, year, cases. Tapos si table 4B tidy, country, year, population. So pag left join guys, ang mangyayari niyan, kukunin mo kasi ang nasa left natin, ang gagawin natin nasa left, si 4A, kukunin yung common sa kanila, 4A and 4B. Tapos ipagsasama yung mga elements ng mga common column sila. In this case, country and year pareho. Country and year pareho. So, ipagsasama ngayon yung cases ni 4A at saka population ni 4B, which is now the same as your table 1. Okay? So, ito yun, no? 4A, 4B, left join. I just gave it this name. So, left join, table 4A tidy, table 4B tidy. So, and then we, tignan natin to. Okay, tignan nyo. Is this the same as table 1? Country, year, cases, population. Same na siya, no? Okay, so anong ginawa natin? We learned how to make use of yung function ng TidyR, which is pivot longer, no? Kaya ang tawag sa kanya longer kasi humahaba yung rows by yung elements ng columns linalagay natin sa rows. So what happens is that hahaba yung rows natin. Kaya pivot longer siya. Yung opposite yan, pivot wider. Okay, so let's move on guys. Itong wider guys, opposite siya ni longer. Okay, tingnan natin si table 2. Anong nakalagay kay table 2? Okay, si table 2 guys, anong nangyari dito? Yung value ng variable, di ba? Linagay niya dito sa isang column. Okay, so opposite to, dapat yung cases guys, dapat nasa column siya. So dapat may cases at saka column tayo, no? So ano mangyayari niyan? Itong cases, ilalagay natin sa column, yung population ilalagay natin sa column. Ang mangyayari niyan guys, what will happen? Liliit guys, yung number of rows o lalaki? Smaller or bigger yung number of rows? Paki-chat nga.
Liliit, sir.
Liliit, correct. Liliit. Now take note, ang gusto natin dito yung cases at saka population variable dapat. So hindi siya tidy. So paano natin gagawin tidy to? Ilagay natin si cases as a variable and population as a variable. So ang mangyayari niyan guys, you'll have additional na column, cases at saka si population. Tapos yung count dito dun papasok sa cases at saka population. Okay? So now, you will now have more columns, tapos mas maliit na yung height ng data natin. So that's now converting it into wider. Okay? So opposite yung pivot wider yung pivot longer ng pivot wider. So let's do that, no? So paano natin i-ano to? So let's create an object called table 2 tidy. Lagyan natin table 2 tidy. Alt. And then, lagyan natin ng open and close parenthesis. Okay, take a look at this, no? Table 2 tidy. Okay, so table 2, pivot wider. So ang code dito hindi names to, names from. Names from is equal to type, values from is equal to count. Okay? Kasi may count tayo dun sa sa table 2 natin, no? Ito yung count, to. Yan. So sabi natin, names. Okay. So names from. Names from type, values from count. So opposite siya dun sa longer, which is names to at saka values to, as compared to names from at saka values from. Okay? So let's run this. Run. Ayan. Tignan nyo guys. No? So ang ginawa niya, si cases at saka si population, ginawa niyang variable. Okay, tapos yung mga values, corresponding values, pinasok niya dito. Now, this is tidy data. As compared kanina to table 2, which was not tidy. No? Kasi ang context natin, variable si cases at saka si population. So table 2 was not tidy. And then we convert it into a tidy table. Okay, since yung mga variables natin, some variables were contained in a column, sineparate natin siya using the pivot wider function. Okay, clear so far, guys? Okay, thank you for the chat. Okay. Thank you, Anton. Yung iba, guys, so far clear? Okay. So, pivot longer, pivot wider. So, sinummarize ko lang dito, guys. Complement siya na wider at saka si longer. Pivot longer makes wide tables narrower. So, ginagamit to, guys, ang mga cases na may mga values tayo na ando dun sa columns. Ginawa siyang column names, no? Kailangan ilagay natin yan sa isang column lang. Tapos meron naman pag pivot wider, opposite siya. May mga variables na nakakontain sa isang column, ilagay natin siya as separate columns. Okay. Next, another function guys ng TidyR. Okay, it's separating and uniting. Okay, so tingnan natin to example na to. Separating and uniting. Si table 3 has a different problem. Okay, so tingnan muna natin si table 3 guys, no? Okay. Ito si table 3. Pinagsama sa isang column yung dalawang values. Yan ang problema ni table 3 guys. Okay? So we have one column yung rate that contains two variables, cases and population. Ang ginawa niya, naglagay lang siya ng slash, no? Para ma-split natin yan, pwede natin magamit yung separate function coming from TidyR. Okay? Opposite naman yan, complement yan, yung unite naman. Okay, so let's see. So ang code natin dyan guys, okay? So sino gusto natin i-split ulit? Ulitin ko to para kita natin. Gusto natin i-split to, 745 at saka ito. Kasi case to at saka population to. Anong nangyari? Pinag-isa lang niya. Oops, mali yan, no? Dapat naka-separate yan. Ginawa niya ng separator na forward slash. So, gamitin natin guys si separate. So, mag-create tayo dito ng table 3, tidy, no? Okay, so let's create a table called table 3 tidy. Okay, ano yung code natin dyan? Okay, separate guys, separate. Ano isa-separate natin? Yung variable na rate. Run ulit to. Okay, kasi may rate dito, no? Sabi natin, paki-separate mo nga yan. Separate into, cases at saka population. Yon, guys. Okay, so when we have data where you have pinagsama yung values ng dalawang variables, either by a slash or dash, depende, no? Pwede natin i-split yun para maging tidy data siya. Kasi hindi tidy data tong table 3 natin. So let's run this. Run. Yan, tingnan nyo guys. No? Sineparate natin. We ask R to create a variable called cases and population. No? Yung table 3 na naka-merge siya, which is not tidy, which is a messy data, kinonvert natin into a tidy data. And again guys, pag tidy data na, pwede na tayong mag-ggplot dyan, pwede na tayong further deploy R, etc. No? Pwede natin magamit yung mga functionalities ni R. Okay, so far clear guys? Paki-yes nga kung okay tayo so far. Pause lang ako for a while. So are we okay for a while? Ano? Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Salamat ha. Okay, moving forward guys. Okay. Note lang dito, by default, separate will split values wherever it sees a non-alphanumeric character. Pag may nakitang non-alphanumeric character, split niya. Ibig sabihin ng non-alphanumeric, it's not a number nor is it a letter. Si table 3, di ba, meron siyang forward slash. So non-alphanumeric yan. So doon niya i-split. Okay? Kasi nga may forward slash doon sa ano. Now, another way to write that is this way. No? So pwede rin ito guys. Copyin ko lang to. Okay? So sinama natin yung separator is equal to, pwede yan. This is the more complete code. Ito inassume na lang dito kasi basta dun sa variable na pinapatingnan natin yung rate, hahanapin niya dyan yung non-alphanumeric. Hindi number, hindi letter. So yun ang gagawin niyang ano, parang dun siya mag-split. Okay, this will give the same result, guys. Yan, pareho lang, no? Dinifile lang natin kung ano yung separator. Okay. Now, run ko ulit to. Wala kayo na-notice dito, guys, pag nagsa-separate tayo? What do you notice? Yung sineparate natin, ano na-notice nyo? Si cases at saka si population. What data type are they? Okay, character siya, no? Character ba siya dapat? Hindi. So itong problem ng separate, guys, no? Pag ganun lang, split niya pero character yan. And we don't want that to be character kasi kung character yan, guys, hindi tayo makakapag-summarize yan, hindi tayo makakapag-mutate dyan kung i-compute natin to, no? Okay, kunyari, gusto natin i-compute rate which is equal to cases over population times yung kanina, 10,000, hindi natin magagawa yun kasi naka-character siya. So what do we now do, guys? What do we now do? We convert, okay? Convert is equal to true. Anong ginagawa ni convert is equal to true? It converts it into a better type, no? So yung character, it will be converted. Ano yung mas better type ng character? Numeric. So this should be the, sama natin ulit to. Control C, Control V. Gawin ko na lang 3A, no? Para, so, table 3A, tidy, para iba dun sa table 3. Okay. So, by including convert is equal to true, okay, ang mangyayari niyan, run natin, okay, tinan nyo guys, integer na siya. Okay, so kinonvert na niya yung character, ginawa na niyang numeric. Okay. By the way guys, I'd like to apologize. Dapat hindi ko pinapakita yung dapat kayo magta-type ng ano ng code. Kaso nga lang medyo talagang late na tayo kaya I hope you'll forgive me for doing that. Okay. Pwede naman practicein, no? Kasi iba talaga pag kayo magta-type eh. No? Okay? So, okay lang ba yung guys? Do I have your assurance na okay lang? Pakichat na lang, no? Kasi baka galit kayo sa akin na tinype ko eh. Sorry talaga ha. Okay lang ba? Okay, thank you. Buti naman hindi kayo galit. Akala ko galit kayo sa akin. Salamat ha. Thank you guys. David, Joycel, Pierre. Thank you. Okay. Kasi nga, medyo kulang na talaga tayo sa oras. Okay, so let's continue. You can also pass a vector of integers to yung separate function natin. It will interpret the integers as position to split at. Okay, so may example tayo dito. Let's take a look at this code. Ay, 3A. May 3A na pala tayo dun. So, gawin natin itong 3B. No? Separate pala ito. 3B na lang din. So here we're going to create an object called table 3B separated. No? It comes from table 3. Tapos yun natin, separate ano? I-run muna natin si table 3 para kita ulit natin, para yung reference natin. Table 3. No? I-run natin si table 3. So ito si table 3, di ba? Okay, so see here guys, 1999. No? As an example guys, isa-separate natin si year into what? Yung century at saka yung year. Ibig sabihin, magka-create si R ng variable called century at saka yung year. Separate at 2. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung first 2, ito 1, 2, that will be part of the century. Kunyari, 19th century, tapos year 99. No? Tapos ito 20th century, 0th year. Okay, so that's what this is going to do. So pwede rin yun guys, ano? Sabi natin dito, you can also pass a vector integers to separate. Kasi integer tong year 1999. Pwede rin natin i-split yan. Okay, sabi dito, negative values start at -1 on the far right of the string. Value at 1 starts on the far left. No? So ito, 1 to. Pag dito tayo manggagaling, -1. Okay? So, tingnan natin to guys. So, separate natin si year into century daw at saka si year. Separate at 2. Ibig sabihin, magbibilang, +1, +2. So, this will be your century. This will be your year. Okay? So, 3B tayo. 3B. Or, wag na natin ilagay ito. Ano na lang, parenthesis. Okay? So if we run this, guys, yung pangalawa, yan, tingnan nyo guys. Ano nangyari? In-split niya, no? Yung number, yung numerical, yung integer, 1999, 20, 00. Okay, so that's what it does, guys. Okay, so si separate, maraming pwedeng gawin, ano? Okay, kanina sineparate niya yung isang variable na combination ng may non-numeric yung slash. So in-split niya yan. Pwede rin niya i-split yung number, no? Tulad nito, yung year in-split natin. Okay, okay so far guys? Okay. Okay so far? Guys, it's already 10, ano. Permission lang ako mga 11:30 ha. Kasi 9:30 to 11:30. Tapusin natin itong TidyR. Kasi next Monday, application na tayo, no? We're going to look at other applications, no? Okay, so, sige, matatapos na naman to eh. Alright. Punta naman tayo sa unite, guys. Kung may separate, may unite din. Okay. Gawin natin dito 3B. Sorry, 3B pala yan kanina, no? Table 3B unite, no? Okay, anong ginagawa natin dito, guys? Rine-reverse lang yung ginawa natin kanina. Kasi kanina, 'di ba? Sineparate natin yung century at saka si year. So dito, kay table 3B 'yon, 'di ba? Okay, si table 3B, if you recall, naka-separate si century at saka si year na. Century at saka si year. Pwede natin ibalik yan. I-combine ulit natin using the unite. So si unite, pinagsasama niya yung dalawang values ng columns natin ng variables. So table 3B unite, it's coming from the table 3B naka-separate, and then i-unite natin, okay? Mag-create ng variable na new, okay? Tapos century at saka si year. Okay, i-run natin. Ay, sorry. Kalimutan natin to. Okay. Alright. Tingnan nyo guys, ha? Unite. Okay, take note, ang pag-unite guys, hindi siya hindi siya parehong isasama, no? There's another way to do that. Ito tinitingnan muna natin yung yung unite na ang default ni R, okay, may underscore, no? Okay. In this case, we also need to use the separate argument. Okay, the default will place an underscore between them, the values from the different columns. So, paano kung hindi natin gusto ng guys? Ayaw natin na may separator. Take note, ang default niya, di ba, ang default niya, nag-underscore siya. Pero paano kung ayaw natin yan? Ang gusto natin, i-combine talaga. How do we do that, guys? Then, gawin natin ito, lagyan natin ng, sorry, mali ito, table 3, table 3, C na ba? Kaya lagyan natin C, unite. And then, hindi table 5 to, galing to table 3, A, not ID. No? Yan. Okay, coming from the same table, yung 3B, ito to. Hindi tidy, set pala. Table 3B set. Yung pinaghiwalay natin nasa na? Table 3B set. Okay. Tapos guys, yung separator natin, quotes, ibig sabihin nun, walang in between, no? Sara natin. Oops, sorry. Ano nangyari? Table 3C, 3A. Tama ba yung ko? 3B pala. Table 3B set. No? Mali yung pangalan ko. Okay. Hindi ko na lagyan ng or hindi ko tinipe yung table 3C unite. Okay, yan. Pinagsama na niya, no? Okay? Pinagsama na niya, tapos tinanggal niya yung Right? Okay, now, notice guys, ano nangyari? Of course, pwede natin gawin natin year to. Year. Yan, year na siya. Pero character siya, di ba? Character. So, paano natin guys gagawing yan? Gagawing numeric? Co-convert natin, ha? Convert is equal to true. I'll leave that to you as your exercise. Okay. Last guys, for this particular example, yung missing values. So, ang kagandahan guys kay TidyR, it can deal with missing values. Okay, let's take a look at this, yung notes na ginawa natin. Changing the representation of a data set brings an important subtlety of missing values. Okay, so si missing values guys can be explicit, ibig sabihin may NA siya, or implicit, ibig sabihin wala lang siyang laman. Okay, so remember that guys. Pwedeng explicit yung yung missing data or missing value, nakalagay na NA, or implicit siya. Pag implicit, ibig sabihin, hindi lang nalagyan ng values. Okay, let's create an object called stocks. Ito. Okay, it's a table. Anong mga variables na year? 2015, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pitong 2,000 years. Quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then, yung returns, kunyari stock returns. Okay, so let's run this. Lagay ko na ng stocks dito. Okay. Okay, what do you notice, guys? May missing data tayo, no? Ito, yun, no? NA. Anong klaseng missing data to? Explicit, no? Explicit siya kasi naka-flag siya, naka-identify siya as missing. Meron ba tayong other missing data?
Sir, yung first quarter.
Correct. First quarter ng 2016, no? Ngayon, anong klaseng missing data yan? Implicit siya. Kasi hindi siya naka-flag na missing, no? Alright, so those are the two different types of missing data. Explicit at saka implicit yan. Sinabi ko dito yan, no? Okay? The return for the first quarter is implicitly missing. First quarter, okay, wala, no? First quarter ng 2016, walang return. Implicit yun. Okay. An explicit missing value is the presence of an absence. Kita nyo guys. An implicit missing value is the absence of a present. Sorry medyo nag-zen-like lang na ano dito, no? Okay. So, pag explicit, ibig sabihin nun guys, naka-identify siya na wala, no? Pag implicit naman, tahimik lang, hindi sinabi. Okay, so, question. Ito ba, tidy ba to guys? Tidy ba tong data na to? Year, return, is it tidy? Guys, tidy ba to? Year, 2015, 2016, quarter, return, is this a tidy data? Yes, tidy data to, di ba? Yes, okay, thank you. Tama. Okay, so, let's go back to our discussion. Okay, so we can make the implicit missing value explicit by putting years in the columns. Okay. Alright? So, ano sabi natin dito? Pwede natin gawing explicit yung missing value by making it putting years in the columns. Kasi kulang tayo ng ano, di ba? Kulang tayo ng year, kulang tayo ng, kulang tayo ng 2016 na first quarter Right? Guys, sama? Tag ko ulit ito So notice guys, walang 2016 na first quarter. No? Okay. So implicit yung missing value na yan. So sabi nga natin, we can make it explicit. So let's run this. Okay, ang gagawin muna natin wider, no? Names from is equal to year, values from is equal to returns. Ano mangyayari dito, guys? Ano mangyayari dito? Yung nasa year, ilalagay niya dun sa as a column yon, no? Ilalagay niya as column names. Okay, so run natin. Oops. Ayan, guys, tingnan niyo So what happened here, guys? Ano ginawa niya dito? Anyone? Yung year, di ba, ginawa niyang column names, no? Tama. Ang natira na lang yung balikan natin yung original na data. No? Stocks. Okay, para ma-compare natin. Yan. Si stocks guys, year, quarter, return. Okay. Nung nag-pivot wider tayo, ang pivot wider natin, si year. Okay, sabi natin, di ba? Names from ginawa na year. Ibig sabihin, yung mga values dito sa year, gagawin niyang column names, no? Tapos yung mga values, ilalagay niya correspondingly. So, ang natira na lang quarter, no? Right? At saka yung magiging pangalan ng years, which is this one, 2015 and 2016. Yung mga corresponding values andyan. Okay, so far clear to guys? Clear ba so far? Okay, thank you. All right, so let's continue our discussion. So anong gagawin dito? No? Let's study this code. Ang sinabi ko dito, because this explicit missing values, okay, kasi anong nangyari guys, nung ginawa natin pivot wider, na-impute natin, nagkaroon ng NA tuloy, no? Nagkaroon ng NA. Now tapos, ano mangyayari kung ibabalik natin sa pivot wider na to? These explicit missing values may not be important in other representations, no? Pwede natin ilagay values drop NA is equal to true in pivot longer to turn explicit missing values implicit. Okay, so sige, ganito gawin natin ha. I-convert muna natin to into, lagyan natin ng pangalan to. Let's call this stocks. Stocks wide, no? Okay, so nag-create tayo ng object na stocks wide. Na ginawa natin wider yung stocks. Open parenthesis. Okay. So ito na si stocks wider, di ba? Now what will happen guys if, so nagkaroon ng NA. Pag binalik mo ba to sa ano, pag binalik natin to sa ano, sa longer, magkakaroon pa ba ng NA? Sige nga guys, paki-try. Alala niyo yung pag longer. Okay, you can just copy this guys. Saan yung longer natin? Yung pivot natin, no? Just copy this. Baguhin lang natin yung ano para mas madali natin matapos. Okay, so stocks, si stocks wider, gawin natin long, stocks long, no? Anong gagawin natin dito guys? Papalitan natin ipapabalik natin si 2015 at saka si 2016. Okay? Names 2. Magiging ano yung name guys? Year. Pwedeng year na. And then values 2. Returns. Okay, what am I doing here guys? Okay, si stocks wide, yung ginawa natin kanina, ito, ibalik natin siya as long, no? Paano gagawin? Yung mga 2015, ibalik siya, tapos gagawing year, tapos yung mga values sa to, ilagay under returns. So let's run this. Tingnan nyo guys, ano nangyari? What happened? Meron ba tayong implicit dyan na, na missing data? Meron pa ba guys, implicit na missing data? Wala na, di ba? Ayun, no? Na-reflect na yung first quarter ng 2016 and NA na siya. Okay? So meron tayong explicit missing data dito, pero wala na tayong wala na tayong implicit missing data. Okay? Now, kung gusto natin guys na tanggalin yung kung gusto natin tanggalin yung yung NA na yan, this is another way, no? Okay, this is another way. So let's create an object called stocks1. So ano ginagawa dito guys? Ito pinagsama-sama natin, Okay, take a look at this. Pinagsama-sama natin to. So from the stocks yung original, nag-wider muna tayo. Okay, anong gagawin ng wider guys? Anong gagawin ng wider? Yung nasa year, di ba, ilalagay niya sa column yan, 2015, 2016. And then, mako-coerce dito na magkakaroon na tayo ng ito na yun guys, no? Yung NA natin, ma-define na dito. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yung implicit missing data natin, mawawala dito. Tapos, i-convert ulit natin sa pivot longer. Okay, ito yung complete name guys, no? Calls, columns, pero pwedeng wala din yan, pwedeng C na lang, no? 2015, 2016, names 2 is equal to year, values 2 is equal to return, and then values drop, NA, true. Tatanggalin yung NA. So, run natin to. Stocks1. Okay. So what did you see here guys? Tinanggal yung mga NA. So dito meron ba tayong missing data? Yes, may missing tayo dito, data na implicit, no? Now, kailan well, depende guys sa need, no? If you ganun lang. Okay, ano nangyari sa mga code ko dito? Copy natin to. Kung tanggalin natin guys yung yung NA value drop natin, what will happen? Control C. Let's call it stocks2. Okay, then I'll remove this. So this is without the value drop. So dito, nagkaroon tayo ng value drop dito, no? Complete ko lang. So if we run this, stocks 2 natin, parang yung isa kanina. No? Okay? So it depends on what your requirement is, what you want. Okay. So yung complete, para hindi ko yata, okay. Okay, hindi ko nalagay yung complete at saka yung fill. Okay, anyway guys, I will post the, dito kanina yung nawala. I'll post another file. Same din, kaso nga lang, nalagay yung code dito. Ba't kaya nawala yung code ko dito? Okay. Alright, yung iba guys, ito. I'll just show you some other examples. Okay, something's wrong with my... Nawala yung mga ano ko. Okay, nawala guys yung mga ano ko, yung mga... Nawala yung mga codes. Ay, ito pala. Sorry. Ba't nakaganon? What happened? Bakit na... naka-minimize lang. Sorry okay, thank you. Thank you, Joycel. Ano lang pala siya, na-minimize, no? Okay. Alright, so i-complete natin to guys, ito. Yung kanina. No? Another important tool, yung complete guys, no? Another important tool for making missing values explicit in tidy data is complete. So tingnan nyo to. Again, from stocks guys. Run muna natin stocks. Stocks, no? Tapos dito, si stocks, ko-complete niya year at saka quarter. Run natin to. Okay, tingnan nyo to guys. Ito yung original na stocks, di ba? Meron tayong explicit dito na missing, tapos meron tayong implicit yung first quarter ng 2016 missing. No? Now, when we use complete, ano nangyari? Ayan o. In-impute niya guys, linagay niya yung mga yung mga missing, no? Complete. So actually this is faster than yung kaninang ginawa natin, no? With the complete function. Okay? So lahat ng mga NAs were necessary linagay niya, no? Okay, dito. Okay, so here it's another example. Okay, so here we have an object called treatment. Okay, ito guys, treble. This is another this is another function. Okay, treble. So ano laman ito? Person, treatment, response. So andyan yung person si Derek, tapos may mga missing, at saka si Catherine dito. Ang treatment nila at saka response ito. So let's run this. Yan natin treatment. Para maran yung object na to. Alright. Ito, no? Treatment, response. Andito si Derek at saka si Catherine Santos. Okay. You can fill in these missing values with fill. Okay. Ano yung fill function? Tingnan natin ito. Okay, anong ginagawa dito guys? Treatment, fill, and then person. Okay. Anong ginawa niya guys? Although mali siya, no? Kasi ang ginawa niya, linagay niya yung kay Derek. No? Pero ang pinapakita lang natin dito na you can use the fill function. Okay. You can fill in these missing values with the fill. Yung most recent non-missing values. or the last observation. Okay, so ang last observation kasi si Derek, kaya linagay niya si Derek. Anyway, that's just to illustrate yung gamit ng field. That might not be of practical use in this case kasi baka hindi naman si Derek tong NA na to. So of course, how do you correct this? Well, ayusin yung data, no? Ayusin yung data. Go to the source and then fix it. Okay, so in the next, guys, mga examples lang to, no? So I have here 4 different examples. Actually, yeah, 4 different examples. So kung saan lang tayo aabot, guys, kasi alam nyo na naman to no? Ano lang to, yung reiteration lang to ng ginawa natin. So this is coming, yung drinks na to galing sa 538 na package which we used last time. So may ano lang to, mga some notes about the package, and let's access the drinks. Okay, so ito yung drinks Yan, ito yung drinks na data. Ba't nag-error siya? Error in view object drinks not found. Okay, sandali lang. Okay, I'm not sure bakit hindi nababasa yung drinks. Last values of drinks. Doble na yung ano ko. Sandali Okay. Dami sigurong bukas na Okay, so dito guys, si drinks, so is this a tidy data? Take note, yung mga values guys, yung beer, yung spirit, yung wine, yung total liters, beer servings, yung mga values ng mga liters ng iniinom na beer, spirit, wine, naka-spread across different rows. So ang hindi tidy dito, ang tidy nito dapat yung beer, yung spirit nasa isang nasa isang column. Okay? So let's convert this into a tidy data. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Sa exercise na to, ang kukunin lang natin, compare natin yung 4 countries, US, China, Italy, and Saudi Arabia. Compare natin yung drinking patterns nila. No? Okay, so this is our code. So we create an object called drink smaller. From the drinks, i-filter muna natin by country. Tapos ito yung shortcut nun, di ba? Filter, country, tapos yung list, si USA, si China, si Italy, si Saudi. And then, select natin, sino isa-select natin? Minus total liters of pure alcohol. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin isasama to. Ang isasama lang natin si beer, si spirit, at saka si wine. Okay? So minus siya. And then, i-rename natin. Let's rename yung beer servings into beer, yung spirit servings into spirit, at saka wine servings into wine. So we'll now create an object called drink smaller. Tapos ang mga ang mga variables siya, beer, spirit, at saka wine, no? And only including USA, China, Italy, and Saudi Arabia. So let's run this. Ba't hindi makita yung drinks? Siguro, wait. Mukhang we have to i-download muna natin, guys. Okay, sorry ha. Diba binigay ko sa inyo yung I gave you the file last time. I need a few more minutes lang, guys, ha? Sa ba yung drinks? Wala. Hindi. Saan ba yun? Drinks. Read_CSV. Tapos dito yata. Okay. Hindi. Not from this one. Sorry guys, Control-C, sandali ha. So it's coming from this one. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so binigay ko yung URL doon, guys. I-download ko lang yung may instructions naman dyan sa natin. Andito yung drinks eh. So let me open drinks. Drinks. Andito yung yung article na yan. So that's from this article. Tapos ang sabi sa article na to, the data is andito somewhere below. Yung data na to, ito to. You can find the data on this GitHub. Yan yung data. Okay, then I'll open this drinks. Ayan. Ito yun, guys, no? Ito yun. This is the data. So let me copy yung raw. Ito yung raw data, no? Yan. So this is what I'm going to copy para i-ano ko kay R. Control V. Yan. Okay? So I'm going to create an object called drinks and galing siya dito sa internet na to, comma separated value sa CSV. Okay? I hope guys nakuha nyo. Run natin. Oops, bakit? Sorry. Dapat may quotes, no? Sorry. Okay, so this is the correct one already. Run. Okay. So, i-view nga natin. View. Drinks. There. Okay, may drinks na, ha? Okay. May drinks na. Okay, so this is just one last example na for pivot for TidyR. Okay, take a look at this. So, ang ginawa muna natin, kumuha tayo ng subset, no? Finilter natin, and then binago lang natin yung columns, tapos binago natin yung pangalan ng mga tinanggal natin si total liters, hindi natin sinama. Ayun, hindi natin sinama. Ang sinama lang natin si beer, si spirit, at saka si wine. Okay. Tapos, rename natin sila. Okay. So we now have drink smaller. Okay. Ito na si drink smaller, guys. No? China, Italy, Saudi Arabia, US. Ito yung volume na kinoconsume nila ng beer, ng spirit, at saka ng wine. Okay. Ang question ito, guys, hindi to tidy data kasi ito dapat siya part ng ng variable, no? Yung beer, spirit, wine, those are values of a variable. Tapos nakalagay siya sa column, no? So hindi siya tidy data. So ang gawin natin, guys, i-convert natin siya. Ayan, drinks smaller tidy. So you know this, no? You know this, pivot longer, names to type, values to volume, at saka yung columns, guys, ang columns daw, wag lang isama si country. Okay? Ayan. Ibig sabihin yung mga names to, guys, dapat type at saka volume lang, hindi, kasi may country na, so hindi na isasama yan. Okay, so naging tidy data na siya. Andito yung country, andito yung type, andito yung volume. Alright, so in-explain lang yan, guys. So this is also another way to do it. Also another way to do it. Okay, so ang mga example na to, guys, these are self-explanatory. You can follow this on your own. Okay, now, kung titignan natin, guys, tidy na siya, pwede na natin i-plot siya using ggplot. Okay, so this is another example. Okay, so I'll leave you guys to explore this. Mga examples lang to, guys, ng converting into a tidy data. This is more of pivot longer. No? Pivot longer yung mga example dito. Okay, so let me end there, guys. Balikan ko lang tong Okay, so si Stephen naghahanap ng kung sakaling may gustong David and Marin, David and Stephen, you might wish to communicate. Baka pwede kayong mag-partner, no? All right, so let's stop there, guys. 2 hours ng data science, nakakahilo na 'yon, no? So let me stop the recording.